let's talk about sticking to your new story and why sometimes you go back to your old story or you get consumed by circumstances. So let's say you're in a relationship, you don't want to be in a relationship anymore, you're done with the relationship, you don't love your person anymore, you want a new life, you want a new start, you break up with them. Lots of people end up going back to them, even though they don't want to be in a relationship with them, because it feels normal and it feels familiar and it's what your brain is so used to, especially if you've been in a relationship with someone for a long time. Even though you know that's not what you want, you know it no longer serves you, you know the relationship isn't what you want anymore, you go back. Some people do that, right? This is just an example. This isn't about anyone that's manifesting an SP or their ex, by the way, which you can. But sometimes it's easier to go back to what you know, regardless of whether or not it's good for us, because it feels familiar to you. It's the same as when I was young, when I moved house. I absolutely hated it and I would always want to go back to my old house. But the old house no longer served us. It was too small. It wasn't what we needed. But because my brain was so used to living there and so accustomed to that house, I wanted to go back. But eventually I got used to my new house and I love my new house and preferred my new house. Sometimes when you are choosing something different and something happens in your 3D that ties in with your old story, it can feel like the easy option to focus on that and dwell on it. Not intentionally, but just because going back to what you know, even though it's not good for you anymore and it's not what you want, feels like the easy option. It feels familiar to you. This is why we say when things are happening in your 3D world, we say to you, circumstances don't matter, because they don't. They really don't matter. And I want you to remind yourself of this every day, because I feel like people really get consumed by their 3D world. And you have to remind yourself it no longer serves me anymore. If you've got circumstances that are playing out that are not what you want, it does not mean anything. Okay? All you have to do is persist. You have to wake up every day and choose your new story, no matter what. No matter what. You're not going to go back to that old relationship unless you're manifesting a specific person, you're seeing them differently and blah, blah, blah. You know, that's a different story. You're not going to go back to that old house. If you want something new, you can't stay somewhere old. Okay, so just remind yourself of that. When you notice yourself slipping back into the old story, it no longer serves me anymore. That's not my reality anymore. I choose my reality and this is my reality. And then you repeat your affirmations, or you just simply say, this is my reality, this is what I've got, whatever it is that you want.